Hello fellow kaiju enthusiasts, my name is Gigi Mars and welcome to the part 2 of my top 10 Godzilla baddies. If you guys haven't seen part 1 just yet, I will leave an annotation where my Godzilla vs. Biollante poster is. If you guys have seen the first video, perfect, because we're about to get started. Alright, let's go. Number 5. So number 5 goes to Space Godzilla. Sadly, the most interaction I've had with Space Godzilla is playing against him in Godzilla the 2015 game. I haven't exactly watched his movie as much as like all the other movies, but I still like him as a character. His abilities are off the chain and his design is absolutely flawless. Though again, with most Godzilla baddies, there are flaws, but again, he's super cool. And he has such an amazing power. Like, again, with his abilities, he has devastating abilities. When I played against him in the game, he just wiped the floor with my Godzilla carcass. But, oh well. Again, with this top 10, if you guys haven't seen part 2, I'm going to say it again. This is mostly about aesthetics. So, aesthetic-wise, Space Godzilla is pretty sweet, and I like him a lot. Power-wise, though, he'd probably be farther into the... well, not farther, closer to the number 1. Actually, he might just stay at number 2. But still, he's amazing. I just hope I get his movie sometime soon, if that means me, like, buying it offline or getting it in the States, because it seems Canada gets no Godzilla movies except for, like, Destroy All Monsters and 2000 and the 1998 Matthew Broderick disaster and Gareth Edwards not so disaster. Number 4. So number 4 goes to Mothra. I had Batra already in the list in part 1, but I love Mothra so much. When I first started getting into Godzilla, I was really sad that there were no real female monsters. As a young child, I didn't know some of them were female, but again, I didn't know until Mothra, like, openly, like, people were openly stating she was female, she was the mother of Earth, and I just kind of was like, finally, there's a female monster, and I kind of just clinged to her for the longest time, but I grew out of it when I found there were more cooler and devastating monsters and more female monsters. So she was kind of like my number 1, and then I kind of let her go to get more, or like start actually divulging into Godzilla monsters and bad guys and just really looking into them. I know Mothra would be compared as a good guy because she is the mother of Earth, she is a protector of Earth, and she is trying to defend the world from Godzilla, but in Godzilla's eyes, she's a bad guy, so we gotta blast her. So that is why she is number 4 on this list, and she has a lot of meaning as well. I have all her movies, and I really like her. Number 3. So number 3 goes to Kinga Dora. I know most people are like, he shouldn't be number 3, he should be at least number 1 or number 2 or something, but he is a fan favorite, so I understand why. But I love Kinga Dora, but I would personally not put him as my number 1. I love his abilities, I love his designs, I love the little Goras that turn into him. Sadly, they turn into him with nuclear radiation. But I love Kinga Dora. But what's a king to a god? Because Godzilla's going to wipe the floor. Again, in the Godzilla vs. Kinga Dora movie, what happens? King Ghidorah gets his one head blasted off, the main head, but they replace it with a mechanical part, and Mecha King Ghidorah is pretty badass as well. So yeah, but I'm not putting Mecha King Ghidorah on this list because it's King Ghidorah, and I like King Ghidorah more than Mecha King Ghidorah, though Mecha King Ghidorah is pretty badass. Uh, but again, with King Ghidorah, like I loved his movies. Like any movie that has King Ghidorah in it, I've probably watched numerous times. Yeah, he's probably one of the monsters that I really, really like. Number two. So number two, this one may be a surprise because again, I've said in part one that my number two and my number one always switch from being like who's the better one of the two. But so number two goes to Gigan. I love Gigan. I have so many Gigan toys. It's unbelievable. But I love Gigan. I mostly, to be honest, I really, really like his Godzilla Final Wars design because I watched Final Wars before I started watching all the older movies with Gigan in it. Well, Godzilla vs. Gigan, and I forget the other movie. It always escapes me. I always think it's Destroy All Monsters, but I know it's not. But I love the Final Wars design more. Like, I understand, like, he'll always have the buzzsaw for a stomach and, like, the scythes for hands, but he had the whole transition for buzzsaws for hands. He had the buzzsaw stomach, and then he had, like, the little pincer mouth. As well, I think Gigan, again, the most toys I have of Godzilla stuff is, like, Gigan related, other than, like, if it's a Godzilla baddie of some form, it's Gigan that I have most toys of, and then Godzilla, and not really anything else. I have a Kinga Dora piggy bank, but I need more Godzilla. But SH Monster Arts are so friggin' expensive. But I love Gigan again. How many times can I say I love Gigan? And his abilities are really neat as well. And yeah, Gigan. Number one. So number one, if you guys haven't really noticed from the poster on my wall, it will have to go to Biollante. Like, there's a big reason to why she's my number one. I know she doesn't really do much. Like, she can pretty much do exactly what Godzilla does, but she's stationary. She doesn't actually move. She's, in a sense, she doesn't fight until she's provoked by her brother. But it was the whole idea of she's the younger sibling, because they officially call her his sibling, but she's the younger sibling to Godzilla. Well, I was the younger sister to my older brother who got me into Godzilla. So he's the Godzilla, I'm the Biollante. Sadly, there's no Highlander thing going on with us, so there shall be only one, with Godzilla being like, yeah, you're me? Okay, I gotta kill you because there shall be only one. But I really liked, I love Biollante. She's so pretty, and she goes from really pretty to what the in like a 2-second like span. Oh, but she's so pretty even when she's got teeth for days. I love Biollante, and I love her final form. This isn't even my final form. It kind of reminds me of me, where I can be super calm and relaxed, and then I can get very angry. temper. But yeah, Biollante has to be my number one. She'll always fluctuate with Gigan, because Gigan and her are like, in a sense for me, two peas in a pod, will always stay with me. Sadly though, like if I ever wanted to get a figurine of her monster art is so expensive. I'd love to save up for a Biollante monster art, but like Yeah, I need to adult. One day I'll get her. One day. One day. It'll happen. But yeah, this was my top 10 Godzilla baddies. They were all based on my opinions and my, like, aesthetically wise, why they were my favorite or how they resonated to me in some way. If you guys have your favorite top 10 monsters or monsters in general, you can post in the comments below. I'd love to talk to fellow kaiju fans about their favorite Godzilla baddies or just Godzilla monsters in general. I will probably do something more like this in the next couple of videos. I like doing top 10s and I like discussing this stuff, but again, like for Space Godzilla, I didn't really know him other than the video game. Like I barely watched his movie. I said because like it's been on the TV numerous times. It's just whenever I watch it, I just don't feel like watching it. I know that sounds bad especially for a Godzilla fan, but like the game probably gives you a better aspect of abilities for monsters anyways, so whatever. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit the like button. Again, comment if you want. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe by pushing the annotation with this little Godzilla, a little monster. Anyways, I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye bye!